Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome you guys to my YouTube channel. As in our last video, I've told you that we will draw a flag of my country, but I have already made video on that particular subject in my native language. So that's why today we are going to do our first mini project. We are going to animate the shapes, different shapes through graphics, and this video is going to be very awesome. You have to stick with me. Okay, let's jump. Okay, let's see first what we have done so far. So this is what we have done so far. We have drawn different shapes, different lines, diagonal lines. We have seen x-axis and y-axis and all the stuff. So in today's lecture we have to animate the shapes, and you will love drawing them. Okay, let me make the font little bigger so you can see it easily, right? So first of all we need some variables, and first of all we will draw a circle, and then we will close that circle, then draw a rectangle, then close that rectangle, then draw a triangle, right? So first of all we need a variable x and get max x divided by 2. So this is for the center of the screen, so we can draw our circle in the center of the screen and all the shapes. So this is for circle, int y is equal to get max y divided by 2. This is for center of the y-axis. This is also for the circle, so we can draw it in the center of the screen. And then we want radius, so initially it will be 0, so we can expand it from 0 radius to 200. So this is for center point, and then we will have a limit of, this is for loop, so we can control the shapes, the width of that the shapes and the heights of that shapes. So after this we will draw a rectangle, so we want coordinates for rectangle also. So there will be int x1 is equal to, we are going to initialize them over here, and y1 is equal to y. These are for rectangle, and then we will also color them. So we will use flood fill function. For flood fill function we want x coordinates and y coordinates, that's why I am going to initialize them over here. So fill x and fill y is equal to y. These are for colors, and after that we want at the last we will draw a triangle. So for triangle we need 3 lines, so we can expand them. Int t1 x1 will be x, and t1 x2 will be, so this should be ty. t1 y1 is equal to y, and t1 x2 is equal to x and t1 y2 is equal to y. So we want 3 lines. I will copy them 3 times. So this line will be the T stand for triangle, so that's why I named it T. And for this will be third line. So these are for triangle, right? So first of all, what we want to do, we want to display a message on the screen that animation is about to begin, right? So we will first of all text style, set a text style, and the font will be bold underscore font, and its direction will be horizontal direction, and its weight will be 3, right? And then we will set out text xy, and this will be x minus 200 and y minus 50, so we can display it in the center of the screen. And then a character pointer, and in the character pointer we will say animation is about to begin, right? After that we will give it delay for 2 seconds so we can see the message, right? So now after this message we will draw the circle. So for circle we will draw write for loop, initialize it with radius that is 0 at that time, and then I will be less than limit, so our loop will execute 200 times, and I will increment, and over here we will first of all increase our radius, then we will set fill style, pattern will be solid fill, and its color will be green. Now we will draw the circle, and circle will be x comma y comma radius, and after that we will fill the color flood fill, and its x-axis will be fill x and fill y, and border will be white. So after this we will put a delay of let's say 50 millisecond, and then we will clear the device on every loop, execution of the loop, so we can see the different shape. What this for loop will does, this for loop will grow a circle from the center of the screen. Let me compile it and run it. Message, and our circle is growing, expanding, and it will expand, and boom. Now we want the circle to shrink shrink down to its original position. So what we will do, we will copy this and paste it over here, and we will initialize it as 0 and decrement the radius, and only this should decrease the shrink the circle. So you can see it's expanding, and after 200 times execution of the loop, the circle will going to be shrink. So that's it. So our next shape will be rectangle. So rectangle, after the circle will shrink, we want the rectangle to grow from the center of the circle, center point of the circle. So let code for that. Int I is equal to 0, I less than limit, and I increment. So for rectangle, what we need all these three things, four lines, and here, and instead of circle we will write rectangle. And what we want to do, we want to expand the circle from the 0 point or the center of the screen. So that's why I have written the variables there, x1 and y1. So x1 and y1 will decrease, and x and y will increase, right? So this for loop will expand the circle, expand the rectangle from the center point of the screen. So for shrinking of this rectangle, we will copy it and paste it. And what will we do? We will set it opposite. Decrement and decrement. This for loop will shrink the circle, this rectangle, this will expand the rectangle. So let's see. Animation is about to begin, and our first animation, circle is expanding and expanding and expanding. Now it is going to shrink and shrink. And now our rectangle or you can say a circle, square, not a rectangle, it's a square. It's expanding and then shrinking. Now what we will do, we will do the same thing for a triangle. First we will expand the triangle from the center of the screen, then we will shrink it down, right? So for this we will copy the loop and paste it over here, and instead of rectangle we will write a code for line. So this is our first line, and first line will be our, you can say, this line, second will be this line, and third will be our this line, right? This is x1 y1, this is x2 y2, x1 y1, x2 y2, x1 y1, and x2 y2, right? So for this we will write t1 x1, they should x should decrement and t1 y1 it will increment and t1 x2 will remain same and t1 y2 will decrease. And after this we will copy this line and paste it for 3 times. In second line we will increment both of x2 and y2, and in the third line so it will be tx what is this tx1, it should be tx1. So this will be t2 and this will be t2 and this will also be t2, right? This will decrease, increase, increase and increase. And then for third line we will increase both of these second coordinates and decrease this coordinate. Yes, it is. So this is for expanding the triangle, and after this copy that for loop, paste it below and reverse everything. Instead of decrement, increment it, decrement it and increment, that will remain the same, and increment, decrement and decrement and decrement, and this will increment and then decrement and decrement, right? So what will this do? This for loop will shrink our triangle, and at the last we will display out text xy and x minus 200 and y minus 50, and then vector pointer array and saying animation ends, right? So this will be our program, and we have to change the color. Let me give it red, this one also red, and for rectangle we will get magenta, and for circle it will be green. Okay, right? So compile and run your program and see the magic of animation. So this is our circle expanding up to radius of 200, then the circle is shrinking now, and it shrinks up to 0 pixels of radius. After that, from the center of the screen, rectangle will grow or you can say square will grow and expand 200 pixels from the center of this shape of this circle. It will now shrink shrink. Now triangle will grow from the center and it's expanding it expand 200 pixels from the center of this shape, and now it's shrinking to its original position, or you can say in the center of the screen. And after that you will see the message animation ends, right? So this was our mini project of C++ graphics series. It was our first project. In upcoming lectures we will do more complicated projects, so stay tuned with my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Up till next video, Allah Hafiz.